Yeah, talk about a procession
When,
going
when
on
you
right
are
now.
as popular of a guy on a day like today as Kenny Payne, you can imagine it is going to take a minute to get through this crowd. What these people are looking at is the next head basketball coach of the University of Louisville men's basketball program, Kenny Payne, a former player, a well-experienced assistant coach.
National champion.
For a lot of people in this room, he is hope for this basketball program moving forward, Tyler.
Hope at a desperate time for it, and I tell you what, man, there's a lot of babies to kiss and a lot of hands to shake in this line. And you know, something that stood out when he landed yesterday, the first two people to greet him, Denny Crum, Wade Houston, the guy who coached him in college, and the guy who recruited him to even come to Louisville. So all of this has that homecoming feel immediately from the jump as soon as he got off the plane, and that's what it feels like in this room right now.
And today there was a sign outside the KFC Yum Center that simply said homecoming with pictures of Kenny Payne when he was a player here at the University of Louisville.
I'm surprised he went with a red tie today. It was probably a good choice.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised.
That's
I'm
probably
not
a popular
surprised at all. Yeah, he's going to be wearing a lot of red in the future.
You got to be able to brand yourself.
The amount of people that have known Kenny Payne throughout the course of the year, the amount of people, the friendly faces that he sees, that he's being greeted by as he makes his way to the podium. Former Card, 1986 national champion. Now he's literally hugging a baby.
I told you that was coming. You got to hug a baby somewhere in this thing.
And he just kissed the baby.
That's, I mean, shows a lot of love, a lot of care. Also, we didn't even mention some of his stats as a player. A little bit over 1,000 career points, a little over 450 career rebounds. Really started to shine as a contributor in his junior and senior seasons at Louisville. We are going to get ready for Kenny to take the podium. He's making his way up there right now.
You know, he is so experienced when it comes to playing.
Yeah.
The player that he was here.
Yep.
The professional that he was as a player, not just a small time in the NBA, but bouncing around overseas.
Yep.
The wealth of knowledge that he'll be able to add players when they make their way to the program
It's an immediate connection.
Is unbelievable. Let's go to the podium right now as they get ready to officially introduce Kenny Payne as the Card's next men's basketball coach.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today on this very special day. We'll get started right away. Interim President Lori Gonzalez.
Thank you. Is it a great day to be a Cardinal? Yeah, let's go Cards. We want to thank everybody that's part of this celebration. This is a big day for Cardinal sports. We have the bookend of welcoming Kenny Payne back home. And we'll end our day with our women's basketball team trouncing Albany. Jeff Walls is here. Go get them, Coach. And Cardinal fans always have something to celebrate today: baseball, softball, tennis. So you can make sure that you root your Cardinals on whatever sport that you love. So that's great. So Cardinal basketball is more than just a game. It's important to our city, it's important to the campus, and we are so pleased today to have this wonderful announcement. I need to thank our Board of Trustees and our EULA Board for all their support, and I want to thank Mike Pegues, who stepped up during a really difficult time to bring consistency and leadership to our young men on the basketball team. So some of you might think there's not really an ideal time to do a search when you have an interim president and an interim AD, but when you have somebody like Kenny Payne that you might be able to catch, you do it whenever you can. So everyone in this room owes a debt of gratitude to Josh Hurd. He went about this search with professionalism, with integrity and confidentiality, up until a certain point. But he listened and he listened and he did his homework and he landed our top target. So Josh, on behalf of the whole Cardinal community, thank you very much. So I had a chance to speak with our new coach earlier this week, and we talked about everything from stand-up comics to the integrity of the program and to the role that this position plays in our community. And I can tell you, he shares our vision, he shares our values, and he shares our commitment to excellence. And I cannot wait to have him back in Cardinal red and black. So Kenny, welcome. So we're fortunate today to have our Governor Beshear here with us to celebrate with us. And Governor, would you like to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good morning, everybody. I get the excitement to not only start my day in this building, but I will be here tonight rooting on the women's team. Today is a really good day for the University of Louisville. Actually, I think today is a great day for the University of Louisville. Today, UofL takes a really good step, and my belief is that there are many better days ahead for this university. And that is because Kenny Payne is home. Kenny Payne is a man of integrity. He's a great recruiter, a great developer of players, a great coach of the game, and he has over 3 decades of basketball experience. But Kenny is also, and most importantly, a great person. Kenny is going to bring stability to this program, and he's going to be a major part of this community. Rarely do you see a hire so good, even the rival coach says it was the right move. And to steal a term, the baseball team does a whole lot for U of L. This hire is an absolute home run. I am committed to our state universities and ensuring this university is not only back on track, but is thriving. Thriving not just in sports, but thriving for our Kentucky students who come here to get an amazing education. But, yeah, basketball is an important part of our culture here in Kentucky, and it shows that Kenny is already uniting and bringing this community together on day one. And it's really special to see legendary coach Denny Crum welcoming you at the airport, and here Coach Walls is here, Daryl Griffith, and so many different players are here today to show their support for this hire. And we want to welcome Kenny's family to Louisville. And a huge congratulations to Josh Hurd for running a great process with integrity. And when you run a process with integrity, you get a coach with integrity. Louisville is one of the greatest programs in college basketball. 3 national championships, 10 Final Fours, but I know with a great new coach, there are many more to come. So thank you to Kenny. Thank you to his family. This is by far the best possible choice. I'm excited. You're excited. But you know what? with a guy like Kenny Payne, the whole Commonwealth is excited. Thank you all very much.
Please welcome Interim Athletic Director Josh Hurd.
How about this day? We're gonna celebrate it. We're gonna celebrate it today, all the way past the women's game and the women's victory tonight. A couple of thank yous here. Thank you to Dr. Lori Gonzalez for trusting me through this process. I understand the responsibility I was given. I hope that was reflected in the manner with which I conducted this process. Glenn, I've spent more time with you these last 2 weeks than I've spent with my wife and kids. But through it all, you've been an ally who has helped me tremendously. Thank you. Before we begin the newest chapter of Louisville basketball, I need to make sure I thank a number of people who have worked tirelessly for this program. Many of these people did this work knowing they didn't have a job at the conclusion of this season. Thank you to Mike Pegues, Cahill Fennell, Taylor Barnett, Ross McMains, Christian Cunningham, Seth Tatum, Andrew Lentz, Matt Stebbins, Reese Gaines, Ty Sampson, Stephanie Davis, Devontae Frazier, and Andy Kettler. Each one of you has my respect and the respect of this athletic department, and I can assure you, UofL fans appreciate how you've handled yourselves during this transition. Second, I need to thank the players on this team. As we all know, there was turmoil surrounding this season, but this group of young men continue to work hard for this university and this community. Thanks, guys. The drive to finish something even when things aren't going your way is a measure of your integrity and your character. It's with these traits in mind that we turn the page to the newest chapter of Louisville basketball. As we began the search for the person who would lead this program, there were certain characteristics that were non-negotiables for me. Integrity, character, work ethic, the drive to always do the right thing, creating what we call a culture of excellence. If you had a track record of taking shortcuts or your character had been called into question during your time as a coach, I told Glenn I wouldn't entertain a conversation. As I embarked on this process, I had a coach ask me what qualities were most important to me. I told him I needed someone who had the ability to serve as an ambassador for a basketball team, a university, and a city of 1 million+ people. As I explained to him, when Louisville basketball wins games, it changes the mood of this town. And when Louisville basketball loses a game, it changes the mood of this town. But more important than wins and losses, does this person have the ability to connect? Connect generations of players, connect younger fans to older fans, connect black fans to white fans, connect a university to a city. Because when this city is connected, it's one of the greatest places on earth. Everyone in this room has seen and felt that connection, and that's why we all love the University of Louisville. The one question I had to answer above all others wasn't whether or not the coaches I talked to could coach. Every one of them had proven that ability. Rather, the right person for this job had to prove to me they were willing and able to shoulder the challenge of connecting this city. I was able to speak to many of the top coaches around the country. I said it before this process started. This is one of the top jobs in the country. The caliber coaches I talked to proved just that. Coaches weren't the only people I spoke to throughout this process. I would hope that our fans understand that I went to great lengths to listen to what many of you thought was needed in order to lead this program back to the top of college basketball. The more I listened, the more I found out about the person who is sitting on this stage today. In fact, during the end of the search, I told Lori, sometimes when the answer's staring you in the face, you have to stop asking questions. As you can imagine, the support for our head coach was loud and resounding within this community. But what surprised me was the support for this man outside of this community was even stronger. I worked extremely hard to talk to people who could give me an objective opinion about this job and this man. Time and time again, the conversation was the same. Josh, you're getting one of the greatest human beings you'll ever come across. Josh, this man cares about people. He cares about kids. This one from a friend who has absolutely no ties to this community or this program. It's from a person who's been around the best in the game for a multitude of years. You're getting a ton as a human, as a man, and as a coach. One more from a friend and pretty good basketball coach himself. If you can get him, it's a home run. The respect he's created around the game is immeasurable, but it won't be easy because the Knicks won't want to lose him. Well, guess what? They didn't want to lose him. And getting to this point wasn't easy. I owe one more thank you to the leadership of that organization. James Dolan, Leon Rose, William Wesley, thank you for understanding why this man needed to be here today. They understood this is bigger than basketball. The last piece of the puzzle was finding out from this man himself, are you ready to do this? Are you humble enough to surround yourself with a staff that will challenge you, that will make you better, that will make this program better? It was quickly clear in our conversations that he understood the magnitude of this job. He understood this wasn't going to be easy. He made it clear that he was going to need help, but he was confident in his ability to create the greatness that so many of you in this room have felt from this program. The same greatness that he helped achieve when he won a national title here. And just like those days in 1980, 1986, and yes, 2013, this is a day for the University of Louisville to celebrate. It's a day to look back on the successes this program has had, the memories that this program has created for each one of us. But most of all, it's a day to celebrate the future of this program. We should all be proud that we're hiring the first black head coach in the storied history of this program. We should all be proud that we're hiring an alumni and former student athlete. But most of all, we should be proud of the fact that we're hiring one of the very best basketball coaches in the country. For a multitude of reasons, it's a day to be extremely proud to be a Louisville Cardinal. With that in mind, let me introduce you to a great person, a great coach, but most of all, a great connector, the head basketball coach of the University of Louisville, Kenny Payne.
Guys, I could sit up here and it's unbelievable. This is surreal. Only in the state of Kentucky can you get the governor to come to a press conference for basketball. Thank you for coming. First of all, let me just do this so that I feel good about what I'm doing here today. Can all my brothers stand up, please? When I think about this job, and stick with me, this is unbelievable emotions. Evaluating the job and saying, Kenny Payne, do you really want this job? Do you really want to do this? It's bigger than Kenny Payne. This is one of the main reasons I took this job. It's for you guys. You're the reason. Just so everybody fully understands this, I have to thank the New York Knicks. I have to thank Jim Dolan personally because we had a conversation last night, and hopefully you understand what I'm about to say. That organization was unbelievable to me. And for me to walk away from it and for him to give me his blessing, it was not easy. More than I could tell you, it was not easy. To leave my brothers, Leon Rose and William Wesley, was not easy. Over the last few days, William Wesley and Leon Rose and myself cried 6, 7 times a day for me to get out of there to come here. So this was not an easy deal for me to just walk in here. I have to thank the staff at the Knicks, Coach Tibbs, all the coaches there, the administrators, everybody. Again, it was an unbelievable experience with them, and I owe them the world. To reflect back, just so you understand the magnitude of this, I go back to coming out of high school and being recruited by everybody in the country, and the school I chose is this school. And the reasons why I chose this school. Coming from where I came from, I didn't know much, and I had to have a father figure, which was Wade Houston. And I know that if he was here, you know, he'd tell you he had to spank me a couple of days. I had to have a great coach, not a good coach, a great coach, because there was so much I did not understand. And it's amazing when you're 55 years old like I am now, and when you're 18 years old like I was then, and him saying to me, Denny Crum, Kenny, I need you to not try to get 30. I need you to get 12, 6, and 6, Kenny. And what exactly did that mean? That means I need a complete basketball player. I need a basketball player that not only is about himself, but is about his teammates. Those lessons I teach today. So Coach Crum, thank you. Thank you. Now, just so we all understand, I can't do this job by myself. I can't. I wish I could. I wish I could stand up here and tell you I have all the answers. I don't. I really don't. But here's what I know. I know that this is a university that's built on success. The foundation of this university is pretty good, really good. It's actually great. It's one of the reasons I came here. I need this university to support me. Support is very critical. You understand what I mean by support. It's not when you're doing good. Support is really when you're doing bad. I need you. I need you. That's to the university. This community, I don't have all the answers, but I know that I had to take this job and try to help build the answers. I'm one person. I'm not standing here by myself. Again, I'm not standing here by myself. Brothers, will you please stand up? This state, just so we all are clear, the president of the University of Kentucky texted me at 3 o'clock this morning, I think it was. Kenny, I'm so happy for you. Thank you for doing this. What does that mean? Coach Cal calling me over the last 2 days, Kenny, you have to take this job. Why? Understand here now, the University of Kentucky, what they did was embrace one of yours. They embraced one of yours. More than I could ever tell you, they embrace one of yours. I can't do this by myself. But what they said to me was this: in order for this state to be great, the University of Louisville and the University of Kentucky has to be great. How powerful is that? So here's what that means to me. University, I need you. Josh, Lori, I need you. Community, I need you. I need you. More than I can tell you, I need you. My brothers, I need you. I need you. I don't need you to hit me in the head when it gets bad. And I know you're going to want to, but I need you. This state, I need you. I need you, and we need each other. And we need to do the right thing so that kids come through this program and they achieve their greatness, so that they understand. And here's the last thing I want to say this. Alexander, will you please stand up? This is my son. So during this journey of being a coach, just so you people really understand what people are saying when coaches talk about the sacrifice their families make. When a mother and a father trust you with their kid, they are trusting their most prized possession. They're trusting their most prized possession. As a coach, there's a responsibility that goes with that. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna say this, it supersedes your job. You are now a father. You are now a mentor. You are now a person that the most important time in this kid's life is now, and it's in your hands. The reason I want my son to stand up, because I want him to hear this message. To put other people's kids first at times is a sacrifice for my family, for him. He needed me. I wasn't always there. But the most important lesson is I did it the right way every single day, the right way. I put other people first. I put the job second, but I put people first, especially kids. At times, I didn't get the publicity, the notoriety, the fame. I didn't care about that. I took on the responsibility. And by doing right by others, every success that I've ever had came from that and that alone. And I want him to know this. I worked my butt off to be good at my job. Really worked. Really spent time with kids. Really studied from great coaches, not just good coaches, great coaches. And I did the right things for one reason. It's the right thing to do. No agendas, none. In life, you know, things aren't always promised to you. I didn't know I would ever end up here. The lesson is this, son. You work your tail off, you do right by people, you be an ambassador for good, and your blessings will come. That's the message I want you to have. I could go on and on, but really, there's nothing more I can say. I'm so humbled. This is so surreal. This is unbelievable to be able to come back and have a whole state. I don't think you really understand. The whole state embrace this. Yes. Let me take it just a step further. I got calls from all over the United States, California, people that, Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson. You ready for this? The owner of Nike, Phil Knight, called me yesterday and said, you have to do this, Kenny. It's a top 10 job. It's one of the best jobs in college basketball. Go do it. The support has been off the chain. I'm humble. That's all I can leave you with is I'm humble. Let's open it up for questions and go from there.
So if you have a question, if you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you before. Where are our microphones here? So start right there.
You want me to introduce my family? So, Michelle, my wife, stand up. My son, Alexander, stand up. My daughter, Alexis. The best part of my family is my mother-in-law, Beverly. Thank you.
All right, Brett, and then Fred.
Hey, Kenny, over here to the Brett Dawson from the Courier Journal. Good to see you. For people who obviously everybody knows you as as an assistant coach, as a recruiter, as a developer of talent. How do you envision Kenny Payne teams to look on the court, the way you're going to play offensively and defensively, the foundations of your style?
Here's what I believe. I believe that the days of controlling a basketball game is over. It's easy to get beat if the coach is trying to control it. I think that you have to train kids and allow kids the freedom to play with structure. So with that being said, in order to do that, you have to be able to get out in transition and play fast. I would hope that I'm able to first put kids in a position to where they're in the best shape that they've ever been in their lives, that they defend with a ferociousness and a viciousness where they control the pace of the game. And then in order to be a great offensive team, I know now, without a doubt, you have to be a great passing team. That would be the way that I see this. This is the way that I would want to do it, the way that it has to be done. You guys don't want to sit here and see a game in the 50s. I know that. I hate it myself.
Fred.
Fred, how you doing? Long time, buddy.
Been a long time, man. Welcome home. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Some of the initial challenges that you faced, just talk about those in terms of athletes, recruiting, the landscape out there, and where Louisville's going to fit in the next couple of years.
Great question. The landscape has changed. NIL, there are so many distractions for young people to make, families to make, to where the information can get diluted. Here's what I know. I know that I can't lie to a mother and a father. I know that I have to have high character young men. I know that I have to recruit their parents. I'm not going to go into a home and try to just get to the kid and not talk to his support system. You all as adults understand the importance of that. I can't do it that way. I have to be able to have a family buy into what I'm doing. It can't be one-sided. And when I say one-sided, it can't just be about the University of Louisville. It has to be about his goals. When I met with those three men today, I talked about that. If I do my job, which I'm not going to do by myself, I'm deflecting. I'm telling you right now, it's never going to be Kenny Payne. It's always going to be the kids did it. I'll take the blame. You'll help me take the blame. But I'm going to put the success of the program on the kids. And with that being said, I'm basically telling you it has to be a win-win. The kid has to reach his dreams. I'm not recruiting kids that are just coming to have fun. I want kids that are dream chasers. Understand what that means. I'm going to ask kids, like I asked those three young men today, what are you willing to give up to reach your goals? What are you willing to sacrifice to be great? You have to talk it and speak it into existence. Some of this is not man, it's God.
Jerry and then Jody.
Kenny Payne, welcome back home.
Thank
Appreciate
you, my brother. Thank you, my brother.
The thing that's gloomed over the program is, of course, the NCAA sanctions. And I just want to know if you and Josh and President Gonzalez has talked through how y'all are going to handle the sanctions and when they come down.
That's a great question, and here's what I'll tell you. This isn't easy. To accept a job at the University of Louisville, it took a lot to get to this point. And so when Josh asked me the questions, what gives you pause? What do you think about? I said, give me the worst case scenario. Don't give me the best. I know what the best is. Give me the worst. And he went through in his mind what the worst could be. I took the job. Understand what that means. I took the job.
Jody.
Kenny,
Where you at?
right here.
Okay.
You mentioned that you can't do this by yourself. What will you look for in a staff? And have you talked to the guys that are on the current team yet?
Talked to those 3 young men here today. And what I'll look for in the staff is, and this may sound strange, I have a saying, and it's everywhere I've been as a coach. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. What does that mean? There are brilliant basketball minds that never are about young people. I can't use you, no matter how smart, no matter how much knowledge you have of this game. You have to care about them, because whatever happens in this period of their lives, from 18 to 22, whatever, it's going to last with them for the rest of their lives. We are looking at examples of it. We're looking at examples of it. So when I put together this staff, I'm putting together men that love young people, men that are going to put the kids first, the program first, and then themselves last. So that's important for me. Yes, they have to be great basketball people. Yes, they have to be organized. Yes, they have to have success. I can't have people that aren't excellent at what they do around young people. It's important that they have the best of the best.
Go to Kent and then Tim.
Kent Taylor from Wave TV. Hey, Kenny, right here. How you doing?
Buddy?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Why now to become a head coach? You've had other opportunities, I'm sure. Were you waiting for this job? Kind of what was it that finally said, you know what, it's time to do this and take that next step?
Great question. That's what Jim Dolan asked me last night. This is a unique situation. This isn't just a job. Hopefully you're seeing this through my eyes. This isn't a job. This isn't a first-time head coach. This is you guys coaching with me. This is, I'm not up here by myself. My brothers are with me. This community has to be with me. This state has to be with me. And with me isn't when it's good. I'm gonna say that again. It's when it's bad. There are gonna be days where we're gonna go through adversity. I need you with me. Don't jump on me when it's good and then jump off the bandwagon when it's bad. I need you when it's bad, because we have to do this together. Yes, I've had opportunities to be a head coach before now. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. This is right. And the reason it's right is because it's not about me at all. It's not about me. This is about all of you. I took this job for the University of Louisville, for this community, and for this state.
Tim.
Kenny, right here. Yeah. Tim Sullivan, Courier-Journal.
How you doing?
You mentioned Phil Knight, and there's a 6 more years, I think, on the Adidas contract here. Is that an issue in your mind, and do your recruiting connections transfer to another shoe company?
Kenny Klein prepped me for that question right there. My bad, Kenny. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, buddy. But we were prepared for you. And I'm going to tell you just what I told Kenny Klein last night that nobody knows. In 1989, Adidas endorsed 6 basketball players for their shoes. I was one of the 6. So I have an affiliation with Adidas. I was one of the first professional athletes in basketball that they endorsed. So I have an affiliation with Adidas. My relationship with Nike, to be clear, so everybody understands this, it's not a working relationship. They are my family. The head guy that runs that organization is like my uncle. He's a family member, just like these guys. He loves me and I love him. The guys that run that organization, they are part of my family. They spend time together. So what I'm saying to you is that we have the both of best worlds, if that makes sense.
Kent Spencer, and then Dominique.
Kent Spencer, WHAS 11. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Would the young man who grew up in Mississippi, would he be able to envision you standing up there right now in this moment?
That young kid in Mississippi, man, when I came, I couldn't read or write. You know, hopefully, and as I say this, hopefully this makes sense to everyone. As a young black kid growing up in Mississippi, choosing this place to play and get my education and coming back is representative of a lot of different things. It's representative of being the first African-American head coach at the school. That comes with a heavy, heavy responsibility. That leadership that I must have to be an example for this community, for this university, to be all-inclusive with everybody around, to help heal this community. That's a lot. And again, I'm gonna say this, I'm not gonna let you throw it all on me and put that heat on me. I'm not. I need you. So I can't do this by myself. I'm not a political person. I'm not a reverend. I'm a man. And I'm a man that believes in doing right by people, and I need help. I need help. So it's a big deal for young people, not just this on these people here, but this is a big deal for all young people who has aspirations of one day being sitting where and standing where I am right now. That's a lot.
Kenny in the back, Dominique Gates with WLKY. You just touched on being the first black head coach. What does it mean to you, touching a little bit more on that? And I mean, just how much do you feel like unifying this fan base and community, something that Josh kind of mentioned?
It is the reason, again, why I took this job, is to bring people together. To what if, and stick with me, I want you all to hear this. What if I'm able and we're able to put this program at levels above where it was at its best? What if? What if we can win multiple championships? What if I stood up here and said, it's not me, it's you. It's not me, it's them. It's not me, it's this community. You all helped me do this. That's why I took this job. What if, in doing all that, I can stand here and say, I'm humbled. This is surreal. This is above me, bigger than me. That's why I took this job.
We're going to take 3 more questions for him. First here in the back of the room, and then one over here.
Coach. Dalton Godby with WDRB.
How you doing?
For the fan who may not be aboard the Kenny Payne train, and I'm not sure there are many right now, but how do you establish that trust to ensure support is there when things do get tough?
Great question. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Again, I said it earlier. I'm not hiding. For me to take this job, I have to open up my heart and give it to you guys so you understand what I'm going through. Meaning I have to be total transparent in everything I do, in every way that I go about coaching this team, which every way that I go about representing this university. Hopefully by doing that, fans understand really what I'm trying to do. In order to have success, real success, see, there's two different kind of successes. There's you win for the moment, and then it goes away. Sustained success is building a culture of winning with character, with dignity, ready? With humbleness. Real success is surrounding young people and having an environment that's conducive to winning so that these men win in life, not just a basketball game. I don't know what basketball is. I've never experienced basketball. I know that in order to be great, you have to love it. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for your life. Let's not fool each other. And I told these young men this earlier. I'm not going to fool you. You are fighting for your life. Whether your dream is to be in the NBA or to be successful in the business world, you are fighting for your life. If I open myself up and I'm saying it now in front of the world, how can a fan be against me? And does it really matter if he is?
Coach Will Clark, WHAS Radio. With the transfer portal and how things move quickly, is there a sense of urgency to put together your staff? And how much, I know you mentioned the traits you're looking for, but how much of that staff will include names maybe this fan base is familiar with?
You know something I don't know?
No?
No. To answer your question, let me answer it this way. How important is it for those young men that'll be in this program to have the best of the best? Is it fair to them for me to quickly make decisions? Or do I take my time and evaluate exactly what I need to help young people? Again, the most pivotal time in their lives. We all, as players, we know what that is. Should I put them around a guy that's a hell of a basketball mind, but a bad person? Should I? Or should I take my time and evaluate, knowing that there's a rush to it? I know the rush. I know it. Believe me, I know. So I have to do what I got to do for what's best for this program, what's best for these young people, what's best for this young university. Because as we know, there's a lot of mistakes that's being made throughout the landscape of college basketball. I can't be one to make that mistake. That's the best way I can answer your question.
Coach, C.D. Kaplan, Card Chronicle, and I'm a journalist, but right now I want to step outside that because I've been a UofL fan since way before you were born.
Thank you.
I saw you play in that summer league and put 30 up, and then Denny wouldn't let you do it. To see the fact that just your being named coach has brought all of these faces, that has brought so much joy to all of those people standing behind the rostrum, to all the people out in the community listening to it, I just wanted to say it is a great day. Welcome home. Welcome to Louisville, to you and your family.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Kenny. Kenny, we're going to let you take a seat now, and we'll bring Josh up to answer a few questions as well. So if you have a question for Josh, Raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you.
Josh, Fred Calgill with WLKY. At the end of the day, there's always that moment, maybe an aha moment, whatever, when you knew it was him. What was it for you, and is there one thing that really stood out that was the difference maker for you?
I don't know if there was one moment. I think it was probably every conversation that I had about Kenny, including our conversation. I joked with him that I'm still looking for the person to say a bad thing about Kenny Payne. But I've never had any interactions with Kenny until I talked to him earlier this week. And so I didn't know what to expect. And so as I was doing my homework, my due diligence, like I said earlier, I was literally blown away by the respect that this man commands, just in life in general, but in the basketball circles. So there wasn't that transformative aha, this is the guy. It was just little by little by little, and it just started to build and build and build. And then obviously when we had our conversation, it was really clear that we want what's best for this university. That's what I needed to hear from him, and I heard it very, very quickly. And so, once I heard that, I knew he was the right person for the job.
Dominique.
Josh, Dominique Cates, WLKY. When we talked recently, you mentioned that you heard what the fan base was saying, and you knew that there would be pressure to try to get the coach that they wanted. Now that Kenny is here for you, what does it mean to you also personally that you were able to get the guy that the University of Louisville and this fan base wants?
I think it means we found the right basketball coach. That's it. I truly believe that. I made a comment, I think at the beginning of the week, was that Sunday, Selection Sunday, that a few folks on Twitter took a hold of. And I want to make sure people understand that the point of that was really pointing the finger at leadership, including myself, within this university, that if we make the right decisions for this university, this is one of the best places on earth. But we have to remember that. And I am in an interesting situation, right? This is a huge hire, and people are going to look at this as far as how does this affect the opportunity for me to be here permanently. And I reminded myself every day that I'm not going to make a decision based on what's best for me. I'm going to make a decision based on what's best for this university. And I think that's pretty clear that that's what happened.
Will?
When you were out at Bowman Field yesterday and you saw that moment between Kenny Payne and Coach Crum, did that, in your mind, solidify that we've done the right thing?
I don't want to say that moment solidified it, because I think there was so many other moments before that. Like I said, there wasn't this, oh my gosh, we nailed it moment. That moment obviously helped. Listening to him up here helped. But we know that this is the right man for the job, and I didn't need to see him hug Denny Crum to create that affirmation. This was, like I said, as you talk to people around the country, and I can't stress that enough. I will say it again and again and again. These are people I intentionally talked to people that didn't have any stake in who we hired as a head coach, because I wanted to make sure that I was getting objective opinions about who could be successful in this job. And it was overwhelming from folks that didn't have a dog in this fight that Kenny Payne was the right person for this job.
Josh, Pat Jaggers, ESPN Louisville. When it comes to the players and when the season ended, what was the conversation like with them? When you sat down and met with them, what were their concerns? What did they ask from you about the coaching search?
I tried to have those conversations prior to the end of the season, and they'll tell you I didn't really pull them together at the end of the year. I think, to be honest with you, we were all relieved for the conclusion of this season. I think we were all ready to turn the page. I was extremely proud of the way this group went out in Brooklyn, and I just wanted them to have a few days, the coaching staff, the staff members, to have some time to just decompress. Because these last 2 months, they haven't been easy. They haven't been easy for these guys. It hasn't been easy for the basketball staff. It hasn't been easy for anybody in this room. So I really wanted to just hands off, to be honest with you, and say, hey, you guys do your thing, and then when the time's right, we'll have those conversations.
Mark?
Mark Blakebaker here, Josh. How much interest was there in this job once it opened from around the country, and what made you want to narrow down on Kenny as your primary target?
Yeah, like I said, I talked to some of the best basketball coaches in the country, and that's it. I thought that I would, and I did. And for me, it wasn't about who is the best basketball coach. Like I said, everybody I talked to had proven that they were a very good basketball coach, right? You didn't have a conversation for a job at the University of Louisville unless you had proved that you could coach basketball. But as I said, this job's so much bigger than that. And so a lot of it was through the conversations that I had before I talked to Kenny. But then as Kenny and I sat down earlier this week, it's clear pretty quickly that this is the right man for the job. I mean, he was up here for 20 minutes. And if you weren't convinced, I'm presuming you were when he sat down.
3 questions, here, Tim, and there. Okay.
Josh, Mark Vanderoff, WLKY News. With recent departures and the related payouts, is this stretching the university's finances? Was it a tough sell to the people who hold the purse strings? And on the flip side, what was the payoff?
No, there wasn't a tough sell at all. You guys are sitting at the north end of a 22,000 seat arena, and when this thing's rolling, it's a machine. And the revenue that this program creates, we can go get any coach in the country. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I mean, if you look at those buyouts year over year, and were there some constraints relative to some large buyouts if a coach had one? Yeah, there were. But as far as a contract or a yearly comp, never crossed my mind. We could and would compete with anybody in the country there.
Let's do Tim and Tom.
Josh, the job is bigger than basketball, and it's impossible in this city over the last 2 years to ignore the context of racial issues. Did that weigh in your decision? Did you feel that it was important to create a healing opportunity?
I think that opportunity was there. And obviously, I've lived in this city the last 2 years as well, so I'm aware of everything that's transpired. And I think for me, when it comes to making decisions relative to who represents this university, the critical piece of it for me is making sure that we find the right candidate pool. And then from there, if they happen to be black or brown or whatever color it may be, then I'm comfortable making that decision knowing that we brought the very best to the table. And that's what we did here.
Last one.
Josh, right over here. Right here. Tyler Griever from WHAS. I know you mentioned you wanted to seek out objective opinions in this search, but Kenny mentioned multiple times for former players to stand up, and I think this is something that they have wanted for a period of time. How much did their input influence you, or how many talks did you have with them about Kenny and bringing him here?
I think you guys would be surprised at how many people said hire Kenny Payne. There wasn't that many that put pressure on me and said hire Kenny Payne. They talked to me about the concerns and the issues they've had in years past. And almost to a person, they framed it in the manner that if Kenny Payne can really help just with some of those wounds, then hire him. But as far as conversations of, hey, you have to go hire Kenny Payne, I'm not sure I heard that one time. And that goes to anybody that I talked to, whether it was university leadership. I never heard it. And I think that narrative that there was pressure to hire Kenny Payne, I never felt it. And what I felt was support to hire the right person. And like I said, I think it's pretty clear that we got that done today.
Josh, thank you. And while I have your attention, please just all of our men's basketball alums, as soon as we're done here, please come right over here in this area. We're going to take a quick picture. Again, thank you to everybody for attending here today. That'll conclude our program today.